All right, so we're back to our buildings drawing, and a couple things I want to show you. I want to show you how to draw doors, windows, signs, maybe a couple other little details, and then you can kind of finish the drawing off as you see fit, adding a lot more details, making them kind of more of your own drawing. Let's start off with something simple. Doors. Doors are going to look exactly like the side of the building you're working on. They're just going to be smaller. So for example, if I want to draw a door here, I'm going to make it a little bit oversized just so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm going to start off, and you really can put the door wherever you want, but I'm just going to put one right here. I'll make a little mark. I'm going to draw a vertical line straight up. Remember, all vertical lines are parallel to each other. Just a couple reminders as usual. When you're drawing, make sure you're pressing hard enough so you can see, light enough to erase, because again, we do a lot of erasing even when you're doing things correctly. Now, the top of that door, just like the top of the building, is going to aim to the right vanishing point. Remember that you have two vanishing points. We're doing 2-point perspective. There's your horizon line, what you see at eye level. So I'm going to aim the top of that door. Again, always making sure my ruler is touching the vanishing point. I'm just going to make sure it's the correct one. And then where I stop, I'm going to draw another vertical line. You can turn these into double doors if you want. You can add doorknobs. Completely up to you. Windows. Windows are going to be the same thing as the buildings, as the doors, depending on the side that you're working on. So let's just stick with the right side for now. I'm going to draw a window here. I'm going to make it kind of oversized again so that you can see it. I'm going to draw a vertical line. Top and bottom of that vertical line, since I'm working on the right side of the building, are going to aim to the right vanishing point right here. So I'm going to make sure that my ruler, I should hold it like this. Usually I hold it the other way. However you want to hold the rulers, up to you. Just make sure you're aiming that guideline to the vanishing point. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom of this vertical line. And then up top here, I'm going to draw a vertical line straight down, stopping as soon as I hit the bottom guideline. Now, what you could do, if I wanted to split this up into 2 windows, I would lightly draw an X from corner to corner. Where that X intersects, that's the middle. So I'm going to draw a vertical line slightly right of that and a vertical line slightly left. And then what I can do is erase the lines in the middle and on the inside, and you have 2 windows. If I want to add like a little bit of a window, so I want to make it look like that window's being has a little bit of a ledge here. The top right corner, right here, I'm going to draw a little guideline aimed to the left vanishing point. And again, remember, doesn't matter how small or big the guideline is, they always aim to a vanishing point. So your ruler always has to be touching one of the vanishing points when you're drawing guidelines. Where I stop, I draw a vertical line. At the top of that line, I'm going to aim it to the right vanishing point. Take your time to make sure your ruler is touching the vanishing point, and draw a line that way. And you could just do the same thing here. Now, if I wanted to draw a window on this side, again, vertical, I'm just going to draw one window here, top and bottom. of that vertical line are going to aim to the left vanishing point. The top of this, I will connect vertically to the bottom guideline right there. I can erase any little leftover. And if I want the same thing that I did over here, this ledge and side right there, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to mirror it. So instead of the top right corner, I'm going to the top left corner, and I'm going to aim that to the right vanishing point. There's my ruler touching the vanishing point. Little guideline, vertical, top of that line aims to the left vanishing point. I don't want to oversimplify this because I know for some of you this is the first time working or rather drawing 2-point perspective, but just try to simplify it as much as you can. Your ruler is either going to be held vertically or it's going to touch the left or right vanishing point. That's pretty much it. Occasionally when you're adding certain details, of course, you know, like the circles, I'm not aiming them to the vanishing points on the traffic light. But over 95% of everything we're doing so far right now, your ruler is either being held vertically or it's touching the left or right vanishing point. I'm starting to see here again a reason why you want to press lighter while you're drawing is because you would get a lot of smudges on your paper like I'm getting. But as I said before, I'm drawing a little bit darker than I normally would just so you can see a little bit more clearly on the video. Now if I wanted to make a sign, I would actually make the beginnings of a window. So I draw a vertical line, and a sign could go anywhere. And then guideline. Guideline. Vertical. And let's just say I wanted to make the word "the," if I was going to begin to write the name of a store or theater or something like that. What I would do is I would break this up into 3 sections. For my T, right here, I would just drop a vertical line. For my H, the middle of that H, I aim to the vanishing point, and that middle one I would keep going because that's also the middle part of the E. And then I could come in here and erase the lines I don't need. And you have the word "the." You could also make them more block letters. It's a little bit more work. I'm not going to go into all that detail, but if you feel like you have a good grasp on how to draw in 2-point perspective and how to do the letters, you could just draw a vertical line here, another guideline there, same thing with the H and the E, and then you could make block letters rather than just thin stick figure letters. Once you have that, start thinking about some of the other details you want to do. Maybe I want to make brick siding on one side of a building. So maybe right here, I'll just make some marks. And each of those marks, I would aim, if I'm working on the left side of the building, I would draw guidelines aimed from those spots to the left vanishing point. Remember, guidelines always aim to a vanishing point. You just got to make sure that you're aiming them to the correct one. Sometimes it's a lot of work, it's tedious, but stick with it. You don't want to do 2 or 3 of your guidelines correctly and then just get tired of it and say, well, I'm just going to slop up the rest and just draw them at an angle. You got to make sure your ruler is touching one of the vanishing points when you're drawing guidelines. And then what I could do here, I won't do all of them, but I could do a series of vertical lines in a brick pattern. I'm not going to go through the whole entire side of the wall, but I think you get the general idea. Once you've got a good understanding of how to do a couple doors, a couple windows, see how far you can take your drawing, adding details. You could add things that you don't even have to worry about drawing in perspective in the background. You could draw trees, you could draw airplanes, clouds, birds. You could turn this into some kind of a city where it's being destroyed by giant monsters. You could turn this into an old Western town where you make these look more like old West buildings and cowboys around it. You could turn it into a superhero city where you have Spider-Man swinging on his web delivering pizzas or something along those lines. So once you draw your buildings, again, start off very simple. Draw the doors, then work your way to windows, and then see how much more you can do. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact myself, Mr. Seville, either one of us. If you're in our class, we are more than welcome to help you get through this. Do the best that you can. Keep some of those reminders in the back of your head, like drawing lightly, but dark enough so you can see, but you still want to be able to erase, because again, we always erase even when we're doing things correctly. Also keeping in mind that your ruler, when you're drawing guidelines, are always going to be aimed towards one of the vanishing points. The next video after this one that you will see will be a third drawing that we're going to work on. So in the meantime, do your best on this. You can keep practicing on this one. You can keep practicing on your treasure chest one. And good luck. And once again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.